through the deep dark woods where the shadows loom. Our crew's on a mission past the old O's boom. Got our gear packed tight, flashlights in hand. Oklahoma nights in Bigfoot's land. Yeah, evidence like footprints, DNA's the key.
Here in the Mid-South, we kind of run by the golden rule, even when it comes to Bigfoot research. Sometimes we team up and go out into the field. Sometimes we work alone, but we're always cordial to each other, especially when it comes to training opportunities. The best time, of course, to do this training is whenever it's raining and storming. So we got together this weekend and started talking about audio recording techniques. So follow along.
All right, this is just an intro. So this is our audio files class for our Bigfoot outings for No Bro and Red Dirt Cryptids. I don't know what the correct format for this class is. By the way, I'm Ryan White, Squatch Ranger. Because the reason I say that is we're going to all be at different levels of like knowing how to upload an audio file into like a program. And see, what I'm thinking is some of us need help just learning how to upload it on the program. Others of us are going to like want more details of how to manipulate the wave files and stuff like that. So I don't know what the proper format is. I'm going to show you some basic things up here. And then I think a good idea would just be kind of going around the table and helping people one-on-one. Brian is also going to talk about some things. We might overlap and show you some of the same things, and that's okay. Review is good. So it's okay if we overlap and that kind of thing and give you some of the same information, or maybe we'll both show you some different things and think about it from a different perspective or something. That's good too. So I don't, like Brian said earlier, you know, he didn't make lesson plans for this presentation and I didn't either. We're just winging it. This is informal, so it's okay to kind of chatter back and forth. And like I said, I'm probably going to go around individually and help people. Like Chris wrote down on a napkin, he's got like certain sections of seconds in his recordings that he wants to like listen to and go over. So that's awesome. Like if you know like specific spots in your file that you have something, we want to like break down that 5-second clip and manipulate it on Audacity. Okay, so when we go out in the field and we record, we're going to upload our like if we did it for 2 days, and we upload that file, it's going to be a really long file. Right now it's only showing 12 seconds worth, but it'll upload the whole file of the 48 hours or whatever, the 2 days, and then you have to like listen and you have to like find the spots that something got on the recorder. Okay, and then you can break down those little chunks. So I like that Chris already has written some stuff down on his napkin and that we can go to those chunks of his time. And like we can just go to that exact spot, those seconds on there, and we can like isolate that and mess with that audio. Okay, because we don't want to listen to 2 days worth of audio together today. We don't have time. We only have this for basically an hour and a half out of 2 hours. So anyway, it's good to like know where we're going to go to and isolate that section of your recording. Am I making sense? Yes. All right, awesome. So the first thing is, Tom, did you ever figure out the other night how to just put a file on here? No. Okay, look up here. So do you have your recorder plugged in? Do you have your files saved to that computer?
No.
Okay, you need to plug in your recorder right now.
Well, I'm trying to find my Audacity first.
And Brian might just go over there and look over his shoulder while we're doing that. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of dive in, and Brian will get him caught up. So if you're in Audacity, like we are right here, okay, you're going to go to the top left corner to File, and there'll be a drop-down box. You're going to come down here to Import and hover over Import, and it's going to say Audio, MIDI, Labels, Raw Data. We're going to go to Audio and click on Audio. All right, now it's going to pull up files from your computer. Okay, so you can either get files straight from your computer that you've saved to your computer, or you can just plug in your audio recorder into your computer here on your USB and just pull from your USB drive from this choice. Okay, if you need more of a breakdown and help doing that, I will gladly come and help you. We already pulled yours up. Did it show up?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Evans, do you have something pulled up? Evans,
I have an audio file.
oh, you don't have any audio to play with?
No.
Okay,
I guess we can share.
well, he's got his own laptop there. Dang.
I got some I can forward to him on email.
Can you do that? That'd be great. Just forward him anything. Just something that's got some screams or wood knocks or whatever you think's on there. That'd be awesome. Anything. So yeah, so Evans, he's going to email you a file, and then you're going to download that file through your email to your computer, and you're going to put that file into Audacity. Does that sound good? Okay. What was it? WMA? Is that a WMA file? Whatever that is. And Audacity doesn't accept that kind of type of file, and so it's not coming into Audacity. So on your recorder, like mine, the one that I use, it gives me a choice. I can record my recordings in MP3, or I can record them in WAV, W-A-V, WAV. I always pick MP3 because when you actually upload it to your computer, it'll upload faster. So, once you have your files on your recorder and you're ready to transfer them to Audacity, you go to File, up at the top, you go to Import, and then you pick Audio, and then it'll pull up your files on your computer. I'm just going to pick, I'm not even picking a Bigfoot recording, I'm picking like 2 little short tracks that I just picked off the internet. They're just they're just background tracks. I'm going to pick Convention Crowd Noise off my downloads. All right, so here it shows the recording, and mine is 45 seconds long. Okay, it's actually maybe 50 seconds. All right, so it's a short clip. This is just like a bunch of talking and crowd noise, and I don't know. It's just a bunch of, it's like a really bad quality recording. Let's listen to it real quick here. Okay, so in that recording, there's some talking. There's even like a music, like a like a beat, and then there's just like a bunch of frequencies. All right, sorry if that was too loud. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to take out the low frequencies, and then it'll kind of isolate more what we want to hear a little bit better. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll be a little bit more clearer. Okay, so first off, you got yours pulled up? Evans, you got yours pulled up?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to show you, I'm going to teach you this real quick. Over here, I'm going to play it again, just a few seconds. Over here, you're going to see some green bars. And if the green bars get into the red, that's called clipping. And you don't want to have clipping going on in your audio. Okay, so if the green bars go over to red, here, we'll watch the green up there real quick. So right here's what I'm talking about. So that's, all right, it never went into the red. It was a lot of green and into yellow. So if you get over here all the way to -6 or past -6, it's going to be some red, and that's called clipping, and we don't want clipping in our audio tracks. So I'm just throwing that out there.
Scratch or
Yeah, it'll get scratchy and
okay.
it'll be bad for your speakers if you play it back. All that clipping over and over, and you're like cranking up full volume, you're going to blow your speakers eventually, or tear them up a little bit, damage them. Okay, so now I'm going to go to, everybody can do this. I'm going to go to these 3 buttons on my track right here. There's 3 dots right here. Everybody see those 3 dots? Click on those 3 dots, and it'll be a drop down like this.
Can you show us again?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. So the 3 dots are right here.
Oh, okay.
Click on those. There's a drop down, and I'm going to go down to spectrogram, and I'm going to pick spectrogram. Now it's changed what we're looking at. Okay, it's changed it. Now what I'm going to show you, and over here on the left is like all the frequencies, the different numbers of frequencies, the hertz, and all that stuff. Okay, and we see a lot of white through here. That's probably the talking or whatever. So what I'm going to do is, see my arrows right there? I'm going to drag this down, and as I drag it down, it's going to get bigger and bigger, and more numbers are going to appear. And I'm just going to keep dragging, like even off screen. I'm going to drag it like a bunch. I'm going to keep dragging and dragging. Now I have to use my cursor on the right. Oops. And I'm going to, there's my arrows right there. I'm going to drag some more. And I'm making it bigger and bigger and bigger. Now as we stretch it out, we can see more detail in our sound file, our waves, our frequencies. All right. So now we have an up and down cursor here. I can go up and down and look. We have a sideways cursor here. We can go sideways and go through our recording that way. Okay, mine's not very long, so I don't have to go very far. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so on mine up here, I got some whites. That's some kind of sound or frequency. If I come up here to the other track, so the top is like the right, I think, and the bottom's the left, or I have that mixed up. I don't know. Do you know, Brian? The top up here is right side of your audio, and then down here on the bottom is like your left. It's right and left. I don't know which one's which. Exactly. Do you know?
I've never paid attention to it because it doesn't matter, but yes, you will get slightly stronger audio files on one or the other depending on what direction.
Yeah, because it's right and left.
And you wouldn't think it'd be that big a difference, but it can be a big difference.
So I'm just saying that because because it will look a little bit different on the top and then versus the bottom. See, these are longer on the bottom. These whites are longer. So if I would shrink it back down, but we might not see them as good.
When you play it, though, it plays both of them regardless.
Yeah, it plays both of them.
Yeah, I'm trying to learn.
Okay.
So anyway, there. Okay, so I shrunk mine down so you can see both of them. Okay, and you can see some white through here, and then we got some longer stuff going on over here. And now that's all masked by this, whatever you call that, just white noise.
Yeah.
Okay, we can take some frequencies out and hear it a little bit better. So that's why I was stretching it out to see the numbers more on the side. So I'm going to stretch it down again so I can actually see some more specific numbers. So I'm just stretching it down, making it bigger. Oh. Oh. Oh, that's cool. That's a cool sound. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I just want to hear like this part right here, okay? Okay, let's just say that I got some Bigfoot long howls to hear right here. I'm going to take this one and this one and this one. I'm going to stop right here.
Do that again. I didn't see what you're doing.
Okay, so I'm just looking at like this long line and this long line and this long line. We're just pretending it's a Bigfoot howl. It's not, okay? So what I want to do is I want to put a line right there at the end of that.
How did you put that line in there?
I just put my mouse there and right-clicked, okay? Now, you'll see some arrows, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag all the way back to 0 right there. All right, so I took those 3 lines, okay? Those are the Bigfoot howls I like the most. Okay, now I'm going to come up here to edit. I'm going to copy. You go to edit button up here, come down to copy, or you could press Control-C, which is faster if you have that memorized. Okay, so I copied that. Now I'm going to come up here to tracks, and I'm going to come down here and add a new track. I'm going to make it stereo. Okay, so now I have a stereo track underneath my main audio recording. And I'm going to just go to edit and paste it in. So now I just have that one spot right there, and it's showing in waveform. Okay, so now this is very important. I got to come back up here. I'm going to mute this one so we don't hear them at the same time. We don't want to. And then I'm going to drag back down here to this one. This is the one that those first 3 lines. Everybody with me? Those that Bigfoot howls that I liked. I just took those 3 Bigfoot howls. I copied them. I pasted them down here to the bottom. Everybody with me? Okay. So, and I muted this track up here. All right, I'm going to go now.
How did you mute that track?
Okay.
Oh, I see mute. Unmute.
Okay, yeah. Does anybody else need to see the mute button? They should be over here on the side. Yeah, in your tracks, you'll have a mute button or a solo button. If you press solo, it's just going to play that one track as a solo. If you have like 10 tracks stacked up, which we don't need to. This is really for music and stuff. But I'm just going to tell you. So if you have like 10 tracks going, instead of muting every single one of them, you could just press solo on the one you want to hear, and then you'll hear that one. And then you don't have to press mute 10 times or 9 times or whatever.
I'm sorry, I don't see that.
You don't see mute or solo?
I see mute, unmute.
Okay, you don't see solo? All right, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. All we need to do is mute the top track. All right, so now I'm going to go back and make this one a spectrogram because it's still in wave, so we already learned how to do that. So now that one's in a spectrogram. Now, we have these 2 buttons up here, a plus and a minus, like a, what is that called? Not an hourglass, what's that called?
Where?
This button right here. When you have a magnifying glass, thank you. That's what it's called. I was like, I couldn't think of what it's called. A magnifying glass, a plus minus. If I press that, it'll stretch it out long. Okay, if I press minus our magnifying glass, it'll make it short. So I'm gonna do this.
Well, I'm already way behind. But,
Am I going too fast, Tom?
well, mine was dragging,
This
so
computer really is slow, and by the time it loads something up,
you're already.
you're already gone.
All right, so I'm just looking at those three howls right here. Where'd they go? I guess I need to stretch this one out. So let's listen to it. Okay, there's a quick way to kind of take out white noise. Now, the secret is you have to find a spot in your recording that's there's no talking on here, there's no drum beat. You got to find a section where it's just that's all it is. There's no talking, there's nothing. You got to find a sample that's just so on here it's really hard because there's stuff right there. I was thinking right there, but there's stuff there. There's really not a spot because it's just pretty consistent. But for demonstration purposes, let's see here. I'm going to take like, I don't know, the first part right here. Let's listen to it. Oh, it doesn't even have anything. No, that's not good. It has to be the sound. Let's see here. I'm going to drag this down some more. Because I don't even see those 3 lines that we were talking about earlier. Do you guys? I lost them.
Yeah, it's kind of like zoomed in so much that...
There. Okay, there's some. Okay, I'm just going to say here over. All right? That's my sample of just... even though it's not perfect. Okay, so although there was a back in the background, I heard it. We don't want that. We just want I'm going to make it shorter. The longer that you can, if you can find a longer section like this, the better. If you can find you want it to be like a couple seconds of just because it'll have more information to analyze to take it out. But I'm just going to do a shorter one, so it's just.
The reason why I was trying to show you guys this is so you can take wind noise out, bugs, insect noise, all that other stuff that's in the background, highway noise, you know.
All right, so once I do that, I find a little clip that's just. I can go to Effect, the Effect button at the top. I'm going to drag down to Noise Removal and Repair, and I'm going to go to Noise Reduction. All right, brings up this. So first, we have to, it says Get Noise Profile right there. So that's Get Noise Profile. That's our section of just, a couple sections of just
Can you go to when you're on effect, Ryan?
Noise reduction and removal, or noise reduction.
Okay, then what?
And then click on it, and then this box will pop up.
Okay.
You got it?
Well, on mine, since I didn't have a sample picked out, it wouldn't do it because you said you don't.
Oh, yeah, you have to highlight a section. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you have to have a section highlighted or else you can't do this.
Okay.
So you have to pick a sample of just and when it's overnight and you record it overnight, you should have plenty of material just all right, but this is just some audio sample I downloaded off the internet. It's not the best.
Fold and drag over a little bit. What? Why did it do that?
What happened?
That's too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like 2 to 4 seconds.
Mine.
5 seconds?
Went automatically to it. It said applying noise reduction. It just started loading it.
Okay, well, did you already click this button, Tom?
Yeah, I clicked that top one. Yeah.
Okay, and then what'd you do?
It just went right. Let me do it again.
Okay, stay with me on this. Stay in step by step with me.
Right.
Yep.
Then you go down to mine's got a ton of stuff. So noise reduction.
Uh-huh.
And it says get noise profile.
Yep.
Hit that.
Okay, now just stay right here where I am.
Is this it right here?
We're trying to get everyone caught up.
Okay.
And then go.
Nope.
But you have to highlight that certain area.
Yeah, you just find an area that says
Yeah.
white noise. Just a clean, just white noise. You don't hear anything else.
My deal is I just.
Yeah, I don't know. This is older than mine.
Noise reduction on this one?
Yeah, noise reduction. Yeah, or noise removal, either one. Yeah.
I didn't know the difference between the two. And then pick noise profile, click on that.
Click on that.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, now just
You know, mine's got a noise reduction on my
speed with you.
Okay, gotcha.
deal. You can choose.
Nice.
Yeah.
Good. That's good. It probably takes out lower frequencies already for you.
Oh, really?
So it helps with like wind and stuff. Okay, are we all caught up?
So it's just circling now. Is it just trying to catch up?
Yes, that's lagging and I'm sorry.
No,
All right, so I'm going to click Get Noise Profile and nothing magical is going to happen. So I'm going to click that. All right. Now, it still shows my highlighted sample over here. Now, I want to take the entire thing. So I'm just going to, anywhere on here, I'm going to double click. Okay, I've highlighted the entire thing now. This is very important. You got to highlight the entire track. Here, I'll click off of it. All right, so it's not, I don't have anything picked. I'm going to double click. It's highlighted the entire thing. Highlight your entire track.
Mine goes straight to it starts.
Now, if you're doing this in like your long hours and hours, this is going to take a long time. I've shortened mine to like 3 seconds. So you want to shorten it to like your 4 or 5 seconds and copy and paste it down here so you're not waiting like a long time for it to go through the entire 2 days to do this. It's just going to take a second. Hope that makes sense. So now I've highlighted everything. I hope everybody's, am I going too fast?
Yeah, a little bit.
mine just deleted.
I deleted. Well, that's not supposed to happen. I think you're just,
I hope you didn't eat anything on that.
well, it's his, well, nah.
So what? So
It's
I
his
got-
file.
So when I go to that noise reduction and I click on that one deal that says, hold on.
Oh, that's where, see this sidebar over here?
When I click get noise profile,
Yeah, it does.
automatically starts doing it.
Oh, okay.
I mean, is that weird or is that?
No, you just got a really new version that I don't have. So good, kudos to you, man.
Well, let's look. You'll see what I do. See what it does. It already starts doing.
All right, well, play yours back. See if it's a little cleaner.
Uh,
Play your track back.
well,
See if it.
let it load up.
Oh,
Still.
oh, because you probably did a long.
No,
I
I
gave him a
changed it.
3 hour
But I changed it.
Okay, but
Probably bad.
yeah, well, 3 hours is, we want like 5 seconds
Yeah,
or
15
whatever, 10
seconds.
seconds, 15 seconds of like howls.
Okay.
Copy that and put it in a different track. Mute the 3 hours, mute that, come down here to track 2, and then do this process, and it'll take, boom, because it's like 15 seconds. It's not 3 hours.
Well, I didn't do the whole 3 hours, I just done a little section, but mine's still, it's thinking.
Okay, well, I'm going to go ahead and go forward here. All right, so I've highlighted my entire thing. I'm going to go back to effects, the same spot we were at. I'm going to go to noise removal and repair. Okay, I'm going to go to noise reduction again. Okay, now I'm going to come down here and I'm going to click OK, and it's going to go through that track, and it's going to like analyze the and it's going to like magically take it out, most of the Now, you can manipulate it some with these numbers right here. I think most all of them are on, what are yours on? What do your numbers say? 6, 6, 6? What do your numbers say?
I don't have any yet.
You don't have any numbers?
No, I still gotta pick some spots, but I'm tracking.
Okay. Are you all right here, Evans? What do your numbers show when you go to here?
Oh, I've got to pull out a section. I've got to listen to it.
Oh, okay.
Where are you at on that right there, Ryan?
Back in the same spot, noise reduction.
You may just have to come around and.
Yep, effects and noise reduction.
Well, keep in mind,
Or noise, whatever it was called.
this, I'll make it public, and you know, you guys can go back and review everything, and you'll be able to see Ryan going through it step by step. So.
Well, I want to turn it over. Man, I feel like I haven't covered very much, but I want to turn it over to Brian so he can do over his stuff too.
This one says, oh, that's why.
Because we got an hour left, guys. We have 1 hour left. I want to accomplish some things. Yeah, I want to accomplish some things. I also want Brian to get to talk as well.
Take an extra 15 if you want.
All right. Well, I'll try. I'm just going to wrap this up, I guess, and then I'm going to let you say what you.
Yes, we want to get it.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, you can manipulate these numbers. Actually, you can preview it. So I'm going to preview.
Mine says 26 and 3.
26 and 3. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and boost this up to 20. I'll boost this one up to 10 and preview now. Let's preview. Okay, are you hearing the or the drum beat? It's a little bit better. It's better than it was. It's still not perfect. I'm not claiming that it is, but it's a little bit more clear. Can you hear that like it's a drum beat. It's like a music track. Somewhat. I mean, here, let's listen to it. Let's listen to it versus this. Here. Maybe we can't tell. Okay, maybe we can't tell. I didn't do it. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and do that again. I'm actually going to apply that effect. Okay, so it's back to 6. All right, I'm going to put it up to like 30 and 15. Like, you can play around with these numbers and keep previewing until, oh yeah, now it's the way I want it to be. Oh, that took a lot of. Now it is softer, so I'm going to say okay. All right, and then now the colors are different. All right. So now if we play it again. Now, if you'll notice up here, as it's playing, the green was like all the way over to yellow. Over here, now the green is like way down. It's softer. It took some of that stuff out, but it also made it softer. So like headphones is good. If you can hear it clearly just doing that, that's awesome. There's more stuff you can do, but that's just like a first baby step process of clearing some audio out. There's some more stuff we can do. So, Brian, do you want to take over? Can I show like one more step? It might take more than 15. I'm going to try to do it in 15 minutes. If we get behind or something, I'm just going to keep going and show you up here. And then we'll walk around and like help people with your individual audio. I think that's the most important is like I want to help you with like a spot in your audio that you want to hear clearly. I want to come around and help people and get you going. But, all right, let me see here. I got to look here. So now what we can do is we can use a filter. So like all this stuff up here, we can take this out and we can filter, we can basically filter it down to where we're only hearing down here to like the 6,000 range, right here, 6,000, and all the way to 100. I could take it up, I could take all this dark out, maybe it's up to like 50. See all that dark? So I can take that out, and then we're just hearing everything in between 50 and 5,000 or whatever the number was. We're hearing everything in the middle. We can filter out the higher frequencies and the lower frequencies. So here's how you do that. Okay, so I'm gonna make it smaller here. All right. So this isn't gonna be perfect, but I'm just gonna say 5,000. I'm gonna cut it off right here. It's like I'm drawing a straight line through here, and everything above 5,000 is gone. We're gonna filter it out, and then everything below 100. Or I'm going to do 50, maybe because it's down here. It's not, I'm just going to guess 50, okay?
What's the maximum would you use on that right there, Ryan?
Maximum?
On the, you said 5,000? I mean, as far as what we're doing, I mean, does it?
Well, right now it's showing 11,000.
Okay.
But I don't know whatever the max hertz is. I mean, I think we hear up to 20,000 hertz, and then we don't hear, but animals can hear above 20,000 hertz, I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think. Anyway, all right, so I'm going to go to Effect again. Okay, and I've also highlighted my clip. I highlighted my clip. I'm going to Effect. I'm going to go down to EQ and Filters. And I'm going to pick Filter, Curve, EQ. That's the one I'm going to pick. Filter, Curve, EQ. All right, oh, and I actually already did this earlier. All right, so I don't want you to see that. So I'm going to press the flatten button, and it's just straight across, okay? We're going to pick 5,000. We're going to take that out all the way to 50-ish. Okay, so we just want to hear everything between 5,000 and 50. We don't hear all that. We want to take this out and that out, filter that out. So those frequencies are gone, and we're just hearing those frequencies right there. Is it making sense? All right. So
What did you initially click on
Effect, and then Filter, Curve, EQ. So here's the 5,000 mark. I'm just going to go up to the line and like click on it, and it does a little dot. That right there. Okay, and then I need to click another one. I'm going to make another dot, and now I'm going to drag this dot down, all the way down like that. So now we're not going to hear this because we took it out. Okay, and then I'm going to do two dots over here. I'm going to drag this down and take that out. Okay, so I'm going to come over here to around 50-ish. This isn't precise or anything. Okay, I actually drag that one. I can actually drag this one to where I want it to be after I click that and then make a little button. I can drag that and put it wherever I want. And then this one I'm going to take down. Oops, I'm doing it backwards. Don't do it backwards. There we go. So we want it to be at 50-ish. All right, and then I'm going to bring this one over to 50-ish. Right there on that line. All right, so now we're taking these frequencies out. We're taking these frequencies out, and we're just going to hear these frequencies. Still not going to be perfect. It's not going to be crystal clear, but we're not going to have these low rumbles. This would be like low rumbles, and then this is high-pitched stuff. Okay, so I'm going to press Apply right there. And it's only going to apply it to the track that I highlighted. It's not going to do it to my big long track on the top, track 1, that's the longer one. It's only doing it to the one I highlighted. You can do it to your entire track, but you're going to wait like 5 minutes, just sitting there for 5 minutes while it cycles through. You can do that, and that's totally fine. But I like to just go to like pick little spots and just and then copy and paste it down, and then just apply it to the little spot. That's what I like to do.
So where did you go when you said to apply?
Right here.
Oh, okay. I don't have that, but that's okay.
Yeah, you should.
I guess you hit okay first, right?
Maybe. All right, so I've applied that. So now you can see it's darkened right there. And then if I scroll down here, I did it to the whole track. I didn't do it to the one I wanted to do. Dang it. All right, I got to redo it. That's okay, because I've already done it. So if I go to, I can just repeat. Filter, there we go. Now it's done to that one. All right, now I'm going to listen to this one. Let's see if we...
It's a lot easier to listen to.
Yeah, quite a bit easier. I mean, it's not perfect, but we're getting there. Okay, another thing I can do is I can highlight this, and since it made it softer, there's two things you can do. If you want to just go to your volume button and make it louder, you can do that. But Audacity is awesome because I like to leave my volume at 0. Audacity is like amazing. If I go to Effect and I go down here to Amplify, Volume and Compression, and then I go to Amplify, I'm going to click on that. Audacity already will amplify at 33.39, or it's going to be different. It's always going to be a different number because it analyzes the audio. And it's going to make it like loud enough where it doesn't clip. It's going to amplify it loud. I just keep my volume over there at 0, but it's going to amplify it to where it won't clip. Remember how I talked about if it goes in the red over here, it clips. It's not good for your audio. It's not good for your speakers. This is what's awesome about Audacity. It just knows the number and just does it. So I'm going to click Apply. Now it's louder. All right, so
It's going green, yellow.
yeah, and didn't go to red,
Yeah.
and that's okay. Now, when we do that, it kind of brings back some so it's like a back and forth, like we cleared out some stuff, but it got more silent or less volume, okay? And when you play it back, you're like, I want it to be louder. Well, you can amplify it like that, but then it brings back some of the grainy. So it's like a back and forth thing.
Just got to bracket it to get it to where you want it.
Yeah.
It's playing with it.
Yeah, So anyway, that's all I'm going to show you. I'm going to come around and just help individuals with like individual questions about, like we'll take like a 5-second sample. If you have a spot like you want to mess with, we'll mess with it together. And we'll also listen to Brian. Okay, so Brian, you want to bring your computer up here?
Yeah. I'm not used to the angle here. Okay, so here you go. Here's your Audacity. I'm just going to kind of show you guys. Okay, so Ryan does this for a living. Okay, he is a musician, and what I'm about to show you, Ryan should not do, because his primary use of Audacity is for music, right? Well, if you're like me and you don't have a musical bone in your body, this is a shortcut that you can do, but Ryan would never want to do what I'm about to show you. So, for instance, if I go in here and and first of all, everybody should have some kind of external hard drive that you keep all your audio files on, okay? Something where it's safe and you can plug it in. But just like if I was to go through here and just pick a random audio file, let me see here. Here's one, and I drag and drop. You see how I did that? Now, this takes a second, okay? But because this is a 3-hour deal, but I'm going to show you guys the whole thing, because if you're doing what I'm doing and you're leaving, audio files or audio recorders out there in the woods for days, like I do, you're going to have 3-hour and 15-minute audio files, and my recorders break them up into separate files, but they're all 3 hours and 15 minutes long. And I've noticed that it does that whether it's a Zoom or whether it's a Tascam. And I don't know what the Sony's and stuff like that would do.
Sony's 6 hours and 12 or 15
Okay,
minutes.
it probably going to depend on what brand you're using. But as you can see, I mean, we're almost done here. But what I'm going to show you as soon as this is all loaded up is kind of exactly what he was telling you to do, but it's like the ghetto version, okay? Because we're almost done here. But the human ear can hear anywhere from like, depending on the individual, somewhere slightly below 20 hertz, all the way up to 20,000. Some people can hear up to 22,000 hertz with their ear audibly, okay? Bigfoot vocalizations, for the most part, do not happen in that full spectrum that we know of. The general synopsis of this is that they happen somewhere between below 2,000 hertz and above 200 hertz, and 200 hertz might be pushing it. So most of your Ohio howls, your screams, your human vocalizations, they're all going to happen below 2,000 hertz. So if you can go through and cut that out, you know, right out of the chute, you can get away with, you can get rid of a lot of stuff that you don't need. So this is what I do. So first thing I do is I come over here and I click my 3 dots, which now I'm suddenly thankful for. And I go down here to spectrogram, which everybody does, right? And after a couple of seconds, it transforms it magically into a spectrogram. And as you can see some target stuff in here already. Now, notice right here that mine goes from 2,000, just a little over 1,900 hertz, or 19,000 hertz, excuse me, down to just below 100. You notice that? Ryan's wasn't like that. And the reason is because I really don't care about it. Now Ryan does, because he's a musician. But I could care less about it. So what I did is I can go in here and I can go to spectrogram settings. You can go over here and you can hit see this one's set for minimum frequency, 1 hertz, which I didn't originally have it that way, but here recently I've been getting these weird humming hertz or humming sounds like the anomaly that I shared with you guys. And it's happening really, really low, so I changed it. And I've got my max frequency set at 20,000 hertz. I mean, I don't want to hear anything more than that. Actually, it should be.
So it just eliminates it, right?
It gets rid of a lot of it right there out of the chute.
Right.
Yeah.
What did you set the minimum on?
I've got it set on 1, but I'm actually looking for something specific. But 20,000, and it goes way up. Where does it go to, Ryan? Is it 60?
I don't know.
It's something, we're cutting this whole thing down by like 2/3 is what we're doing.
Which saves time.
Yeah, and you can get over here and you can choose your color palette, which I've just recently started liking grayscale instead of this purple color. And the reason is the purple color's a little bit busier, and I think that of course I'm colorblind, and I like it better. But you can come over here and enable spectral, let's see, gain, range. I mean, there's a lot of things that you can adjust, but you hit click. Now, the thing that I like about the grayscale is, as you can see here, stuff sticks out. Like you see that right there? So you go in here, you drop a bar, and then you hit zoom. I just hit it 3 times. Okay. And what is that? You know, what are we getting there? Is that a bird? Oh, it's a cricket. But you can learn what they look like. And here's the cool part. You can know that you can ignore all this now, right? So what you're going to do, and this is what I do, is I hit pause. And I'm always in a hurry because I don't have 3 hours. Oh my gosh, our screen's chopped off a little bit. There is another arrow that looks just like this arrow right here. See it?
Yeah.
There's another one on this side that you can't see. But what I do is I start clicking on that and I start fast forwarding through here looking for events or anomalies or sounds. See how I'm doing that?
You can also just take the bar at the bottom
Mm-hmm.
and click on the bar at the bottom, the cursor or whatever that's called, and just drag it over at your speed and do that as well.
Yeah, I'm kind of shaky. And it seems like I miss stuff when I do that. But yeah. But see, like, what is this? Now this looks a little bit different. You know, what is that? If you want to know, you just stop. If you see something you want to examine, you go through and do it. If you want, you can just keep running, you know. But it has to be paused. Let's see what this is. It's just some kind of bug noise. And what Ryan was saying is, God, I need to quit looking at that screen. You grab this and you start slowly, you know, you drag it as you're moving through here and you just look for events. See, like this down here, this is probably wind noise. Let's look.
Like low run.
Is it?
No, it's an airplane. And if you want to take a closer look at them, there's this, you know, you can kind of see it a little bit better there. That's a boat. That's a boat on Broken Bow Lake. But anyway, zoom through. Here we've got this. Now this is probably some kind of bug or bird.
So you're just looking for the little extra lines?
Yes, you are looking for events.
Little blips and the waves.
Kind of getting a profile too where those lines are.
Mhm.
and what they
Eventually,
are.
you learn what to look for and what to ignore. Let's see what this is. It's probably a big gust of wind. Oh, did you hear that?
Something.
It sounds like something's moving. I really don't know what this is. Something, sounds like something's messing with my recorder, right? Anyway, come on in, Brian. Glad you're here. So, and like I said, this is a random audio clip. Now look at this. This is interesting. What is this? Some kind of little bug noise. Okay. But eventually what happens is when you've been doing this for a while, you start to realize that, you know, you start to say, well, that's a bird, or that's a bug, or that's something else.
Yeah, he told me it was gonna take time to start learning them.
Yeah, and even then, it's not always accurate. See what this is. A lot of times your wind noise and stuff shows up at the bottom. Okay. Sounds like something's fidgeting around. If I had to guess, I would say this is an armadillo. An armadillo,
Digging around.
they'll come into an area and they'll start rooting and digging. And then you'll hear them take a couple of steps and then they'll start rooting and digging again. And but the difference between some of these Sasquatch creatures and the Dilla is the Dilla eventually moves on. And Sasquatch won't leave until like daylight's coming about half the time. So, okay, that's all I really wanted to show you, is that you can go in, you can set presets on it, you can exclude everything except for that target area. You have the ability, I can go through and I can review a 3 hour and 15-minute audio file in about 10 minutes by fast forwarding through it. You do not have to sit with a set of headphones for 3 hours and 15 minutes anymore. But there's a learning curve you have to go through, and you gotta learn what coyote calls look like, which, to be honest with you, on spectrograph, coyote calls and Bigfoot calls look a lot alike. And I would not say at this point that I'm an expert at telling them apart. Although I have heard some of the guys that are working the Olympic project say something about there's a tail hook at the end of certain ones, coyotes, they have like a at the end. But I'm still learning that, and I probably will cut that out of the video so I don't sound stupid. But you get my point. Once you get in here and you start learning, you're going to eventually get to the point where you don't have to listen to it anymore. You can just fast forward through it. But it's just like anything else, you're going to have a learning curve.
So, say if you find an area you like, can you go in there and record that or put it to another file?
Well, okay, so now Ryan has a different way of doing this. Again, I do the ghetto version. What I do is every computer, unless it's a school-owned computer that has a lot of stuff blocked on it, which, God bless my IT guys. But if this is your personal computer, you should be able to come in here and hit Shift, Windows, Record. Okay? And this is kind of a gaming thing. So a lot of times your IT guys will come in and they will block your gaming programs on school computers. But you hit this. And so now it wants you to select your screen. So you come over here and you click and drag the whole thing, all right? See, and start. Now you can turn your microphone off. So if I turn it off, you will hear my commentary during the video clip. And if you turn it off, you will not hear my commentary. That microphone turns on the microphone here. You're not turning off and on your sound. Then when you are done, you hit pause, and you can then you got to go through and stop your audio file right there, and then you basically are kind of back to where you started. And when you're done, and this is what I do, I'll usually go through and I'll record like 5 or 6 of them, but then when you're done, you hit Windows G, and it's a gaming thing, which I don't game on my computer. Turn on what is this? What in the world did I get into here?
Good. I'm not the only one that fights with damn computers.
What is this? Okay,
I
turn
don't
on.
think you want any of that.
Okay, so whatever's going on here is like, can I not drag this down? There we go. Why is it? See, it's like the top, there it is. Goodbye. Goodbye. There we go. This is what we want right here. And
that was just, that just showed up in your gallery, your pictures or your videos?
oh, wait a minute, this is an old one. You hear that? Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you. This is an audio file that we took at one of our primary research areas, and we got a whisper. I'm just going to tell you right now. And I don't have all the answers for this, but it sounds human, and it is right outside of camp. And whatever it was watching us the entire time we were there.
That's that one you, yeah.
I'll let you.
Did it say goodbye?
No, you can't tell what it says. I don't think it's in English, man. But I'll let you listen to it again. But I'm just going to tell you, it's so human sounding, and there's two of them. You'll hear it go,
Yeah.
and then a couple seconds, and then you'll hear, and then if you listen, you'll hear as a response. And what I think it's doing is this is the same time Coleman and I are walking back up the road, and I think it's making sure that its buddy knows that we're coming back.
Play it again.
Yeah.
Can you turn it up?
Hold on, let me explain something here.
I heard that.
You can hear Coleman and I talking, okay? That's not us. You're listening to whatever's closest.
That's creepy.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
This ain't gonna be in the video either. But my point is you can record it. It'll save it in little files from this point in the gaming deal.
So what'd you press to do that for the screen recording?
Hold on.
Control what?
Let me show you. I hit Shift, Windows, Record, and it brings up this game. There's a thing in here where you can record your video games while you're playing them, and that way you can save your highlights or whatever. And it brings that up, and then you just take this and you click and drag your whole screen, and then you hit Start, and now it'll record starting now. You can hit play, and now it's recording whatever you're doing. You can turn off and on your microphone so it can hear what you're saying if you wanted to narrate it or something. And then you can turn your mic off, you can stop the recording, and then you know, and that's how I'm doing it.
Do it one more time.
Shift Windows what?
Yeah.
It's a Shift Windows Record R. It's Shift Windows R.
Oh, really?
Now, I don't know that your computers have that, and this is not a gaming computer, guys. This is a $300, refurbished. It's a Levano. So, yeah, this is not a fancy computer, but I think most of them have this now.
Yeah, mine's got error for whatever reason.
Error. Yeah, you're not supposed to be gaming. So, I don't know. So, anyway, I just wanted to show you my ghetto shortcut ways, because, like Ryan would never want to go through and change all of his, and set up some preferences that would cut out a lot of, stuff. But, like me, I don't care about hearing anything above 20,000 hertz. I could care less. I don't,
Well, but that's what I found on the Sony Soundwave program. What I found is, yeah, I can pick out the highlights, but I've noticed if I go back through and listen to everything, I miss a lot of it, especially if it's further away from the recorder.
Yeah. Now, a couple of things I did want to show you guys, and I want to talk to you guys about. I have had so many issues with audio recording, and I could write a book about all the dumb mistakes that I've made, okay? First thing I want you guys to know before you buy an audio recorder is not all audio recorders are equal, okay? Now, this audio recorder
I agree.
is great, but the biggest micro SD card that it'll take is a 32 gig, that's it.
Wonder how long that's
A lot. That's a lot.
Well, it is, but I can tell you from personal experience, that's 2 days. That's 2 days in the field.
But will your batteries hold up 2 days?
Tascams will take 64, that's 4 days. It's something you want to think about.
Did yours come with the windscreens? Or did you buy windscreens?
I buy them.
They're pretty cheap.
Where
Yeah,
are you-
they're cheap.
Where are you getting them? On Amazon?
Amazon.
Yeah, I just want
Um,
some too.
And believe it or not, my oldest, well, this is my oldest surviving audio recorder right now. This thing will actually take a 64 gig card. I've actually gone to labeling them on the back because you want to put as much in there. But I've kind of retired this one to interview audio. Okay, but yes, any Taz cam will take a 64. I have not found one yet that will take more than a 64 gig card that's not one of those scientific research ones.
Much better with a card versus.
I like
trying
the
to
fact
plug
that
it
I can
in.
take a card out of my audio recorder and stick it in my computer and just drag and drop the files. I'm lazy and I don't get it. I've got this old one. This is a Sony and it's got onboard memory. It's only got 2 gigs. So this thing is not really good for anything except possibly recording an interview anymore. So, but here's the deal. Something else that you want to look for is if you're going to spend the money and buy an audio recorder, you need to make sure that it has an external USB port that you can run a charger from. And this, I've done a lot of things from taking little battery packs and hooking them up to, you know, bigger battery packs for like charging your cell phone. But this is my new thing. I've been building these, and this, in my opinion, this is the way to do it. So I've got inside this box,
A bomb?
no, I've got a battery. You know, this is like a lithium-ion battery. In my trade, we use these in like battery backup situations for like fire alarms for buildings and stuff like that. I can get 2 of these for like $50.
Yeah, getting cheaper.
They're getting cheaper. And the way I have them wired is you can charge them off your cigarette lighter whenever you're going home, or I've got a charger at home that I use. I've got it fused, of course, and it goes to these USB ports. It's got a USB and a Type-C charging port. And you can take this and plug this into here, and then you can take a dry bag, which every dry bag should have rolled up paper towels in it. That cost me an audio recorder once. You take your
Now, what's the purpose of the paper towel?
paper towels to absorb moisture. Because if it's humid and stuff like that, whenever you've got the bag open, you're sealing moisture in with it. So if you keep paper towels in there, some people use dry silicone packs or whatever. But what you do is you take this and you plug it in. Now it's running off the external battery right here. And I have run out of card space before I run out of battery on this.
What's the battery life on that?
I have yet to run it out.
Yeah, okay.
Probably more than you need.
Yeah. First thing I do is I turn it on, I make sure it's recording, and then I'll say it's August 21st, 2005, we're at, Boggy Depot State Park, it's 7:45 p.m. And I drop the thing down in here. What's cool about dry bags is you can roll them up with the cord hanging out, and then you clip this and hang it on a tree limb. And if you got a long enough extension cord, you can set this on the ground and you can set this up in the tree.
Just camouflage it and.
Well, I highly recommend the camouflage, not because the Sasquatch ain't gonna see it, because humans will steal it.
Absolutely.
So this is my setup, this is what I use, and I've been having really good luck with this. I can get 4 days straight out of this setup right here. And of course I got a lot of work to do, but as you see, you can run through these files, pretty fast. So you kind of get my point. Have everything put together, have a bag full of cords, so that no matter what, you've always got cords, and just keep them dry.
What'd you have to pay for your tack cam? Or your tack,
This one was, I got it refurbished off of Amazon for like $90. This one, and this is the best one I got.
Right.
What model is that?
That's a DR07. This is a DR05 I got off Facebook Marketplace for $20.
That
And
one's cute because it's red.
yeah, red dirt. Yeah. This one, I inherited this from my wife who.
Probably can't even get them anymore.
These, actually, there's one for sale on Facebook Marketplace right now for $20 in Edmond. So I advise Facebook Marketplace. Man, we put these things in hazardous situations. I mean, I'd be careful how much money I spend on this stuff. I'm all about Facebook
Well,
Marketplace.
yeah, cause you worry about people stealing them, you know, just
Yeah.
like my game cameras.
Yeah,
It ain't the animals or maybe even the weather, it's just people.
yeah, so this one here has another downfall. It's got a adjustable input. It's kind of like a mic volume right here. And I went to Brown Springs a couple of weeks ago and took this out, set it out in the woods outside of camp, which that's something I always do. I never run an audio recorder in camp anymore.
Too much noise.
Too much people, you know, you hear me snoring, you know. So I usually walking off my audio recorder set up about, you know, at least 50, 70 yards outside of camp, and then set it up somewhere. And I'm just going to let you guys know, there's something about these things that these Bigfoot are attracted to. I think Evans and I have had conversations about this. It seems like they're coming in and they're hanging out by the audio recorders. And some people say, well, they're drawing the power off of them. You know how everybody talks about dead batteries? I don't have the answers here, but my hypothesis is that they're sucking some kind of energy off of it. And because I know for a fact I've tested this, and I could take this thing out in the field, put it in a dry bag with no battery backup, just running on factory batteries, and I can get like, I don't know, maybe 8-10 hours worth of audio on this before the batteries die. But I can take it and put it in my office at work with a fresh set of batteries, and I'll get like 18 or 20 hours worth of audio files on this.
That file that I sent you, Evans, when we got to Brown Springs and started that, we were in camp about an hour getting it set up and had it on there, and I checked it to make sure it was full power. And the full power it can go 4 hours, right? And me and Angela left with a dog to go up to the Indian cemetery, but we left the recorder on the tent. And about 5 minutes after we left, you can hear a knock, and then a slighter knock, and then a slight thump, and then about 5 to 8 minutes after that, you hear a whole lot of something going on, like wind or I don't know what it is, but it was a lot of activity that was not like when me and Angela were there. And then when I got back, the recorder was dead from the full charge. And after an hour and 15 minutes, about 10 minutes of whatever this activity was, it was gone. I had to completely replace the battery.
Yeah.
It should have lasted 3 hours.
Guys, I'm just gonna tell you, these things, when you put them out in the woods, they attract these creatures. I started figuring this out about 2 years ago when I was out at Boktulu Mountain and I got that audio recording of what sounded like a couple of them coming in right after I dropped the thing off at the white gate that stops you from going any further.
Yeah.
And I mean, I could hear little moving around. It's like they came in 30 minutes, 15 minutes after I had dropped it off, and it's like they just camped out. And I think I got like 3 or 4 hours worth of audio recording out of it before it sucked all my juice out.
Totally the opposite of a game camera, huh?
I guess.
Seems like.
Well, I think they see that eye. You know?
Oh, yeah.
They see that circle and
Right.
they think it's an eye. So, but I think that they may do the same thing with a game camera that they come in from the back. But here's the number one thing that I think you guys need to get out of this. So I get, and I don't have an example of this to show you guys, but a lot of times what happens is you'll set it up and then all of a sudden, you know, about 30 minutes into it, an hour after dark or whatever it is, you'll hear something that sounds like an acorn hitting your audio recorder, thunk, you know, and then another 5 minutes goes by and you hear it again, thunk, thunk. And I'm here to tell you guys, I can believe that an acorn or a pine cone or a stick could fall from a tree and hit my audio recorder once, maybe possibly twice in a night, but not 22 times in 6 hours.
Sure.
Okay, they're coming in, they're sitting down, they're watching camp, and they're bored and they're throwing something. It's some kind of, what would you call it? Boredom, ADHD, they're fidgeting while they're sitting there. But they're watching your camp. At least that's what I've started figuring out. And I'm here to tell you guys, these things are attracted to these things. Do not overlook the little noises. And they will, I have had them throwing stuff at my audio recorders down in southeastern Oklahoma, northeastern Oklahoma, and even in Colorado. So it's something that they're doing everywhere. It's some kind of, it's something that they do. I've been talking to some guys that are up in the Pacific Northwest, and they are saying the same thing, that they will come in and they'll sit there and they'll do that kind of stuff. They've noticed it too. So you can use that data to predict what time they showed up and what time they left. Okay, but you could also, if you're smart, now keep in mind this only works if there's actually Sasquatch there. If there's no Sasquatch there, you won't get that. So if they're coming in and you're hearing this throwing thing, that's a real good indication that they're there. If there's nothing, they're not in that area. Especially if you go out there 3 or 4 times and you're not getting anything. This is a really good way to gauge whether they're in the area or not. So, but anyway, that's just my personal opinion, whatever that's worth. I mean, maybe these rules don't apply in Florida or Georgia or Massachusetts, but apparently this is what I have noticed in our area. I don't know about other people, but they seem to like them. And if a person's smart and you strategically locate your audio recorders, which I've just recently started doing this, in a place that's kind of like got good cover from camp, say like if there's a blind spot, then where it would make a good place for them to watch you anyway, if you set up the audio recorder from there, I think it improves the chances that you know where they're going to be. And if that's the case,
Thermal or whatever.
you might be able to open up another series of opportunities to possibly film one. That's another problem. When you're sitting in camp, you don't know if they're over there, over here, right behind you, over here. They could be anywhere. And as soon as you whip out your thermal and start scanning, well, what do? You know, they get down out of the way. You know, the chances of you pulling out your thermal and pointing it right out, pretty slim. But if you already know where they're probably at, you could start with it. Might help. I don't know. Every little bit helps.
I've recorded a lot of tapping on the recorder.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
They'll do that, or they'll throw sticks at them.
And I was trying to think, what else would tap on one, you know?
I remember
Squirrel? I mean, I don't.
years ago, there was a audio
Raccoon,
recording from Area
raccoon.
3 where they were coming in and doing that.
Yeah.
And that was probably, you know, the oldest recording that I ever heard was from you guys in Area 3 doing that. And I remember hearing that and I'm thinking, well, they're coming up and tapping on it. But I noticed the same thing at several other locations down southeastern Oklahoma when we're doing it.
Remember Hayburn, where, you know, we got the game camera and the audio, and you could hear all kinds of stuff on the audio, but nothing on the game camera.
Well, was there tapping involved in that recording?
Well,
There was a lot of footsteps.
oh yeah, walking up,
Chewing,
sniffing it.
Chewing and then, yeah,
Oh yeah,
crinkling,
yeah.
It's hard to say, isn't it?
yeah.
Well, weren't you there?
I was not there for that one.
Okay,
No.
but that was pretty wild.
So, but yeah, there's a whole lot of stuff that's out there that we're just starting to begin. I mean, there's a whole new theory that there's a humming sound that comes in somewhere around 40 to 150 hertz that a lot of people are starting to think is some kind of Bigfoot vocalization as well. And I'm just getting into this, but I started reviewing some of my old audio files and I realized that I've got quite a bit of that kind of stuff on mine, and I've just been ignoring it, thinking it was some kind of feedback or something. But
So the infrasound and ultra low frequency, what is that
It's
range
down
like
here.
between 1 and?
it's going to be below, what is it, 20 hertz?
Yeah.
It's below, anything below 20 hertz,
Maybe it's
you're not
picking up
supposed to be able to
some of
hear it.
infrasound.
Yeah, which is why I went through, and before, up until like a month or two ago, I had my settings set at, I think it was like, my minimum cutoff was like 200, but now I've lowered it down because I'm actually looking for that ultrasound stuff. But
What if you just set it at like 20 hertz and below? Just see
You
if
mean
get-
20,000?
you know,
It's
20
right?
20 hertz and below, yeah. I mean, you could do that if you were specifically targeting that one thing. It would be pretty easy, you know, you just go over here to your dots. See, once you've got it set, see now I would have to unload this and load another one to be able to get back into spectrogram settings, but yeah, you could do that, you could set it up. But this right here is my normal setup. I cut off anything above 20,000, I mean, I don't even wanna hear it, you know, and, it's usually just buzz.
This is a dumb question. Why does Audacity stack the two? Why does it have two?
Because there's two speakers,
Oh, it's left and right. Okay.
stereo.
Can you combine it?
Yes,
You could, and as a matter of fact, just so you guys are aware, some of these audio recorders have a setting where you can go and change them from stereo to mono, and if that's the case, you might be able to double your recording time.
Oh,
But
yeah.
I think that's gonna vary depending on what model you've got.
Stereo's 2, mono's 1.
Yeah,
Can you change the screen to just look at?
1?
yeah, well, I mean, if you just wanna look at one, you just come over here and kinda,
Oh, pull it down.
You can erase, you can delete one.
yeah, you can. But I usually just, if I just want to look at one, I just move it to the way I want it. And then if you, well, you guys can't see it over here, but there's a sidebar here where you can move it up and down and you can adjust it. So, but yeah, I'm very thankful that Ryan got me away from waveform that I was using before and got me onto this. And of course,
What is that?
it's just a crappy program that I was using.
Oh, Audacity.
Yeah,
versus-
waveform
Oh.
is nothing compared to Audacity, and it doesn't have a spectrograph setting at all.
Mm.
So waveform looks more like what it looks like before you switch it over to spectrograph. So, but anyway, I think you guys, that's all I really wanted to say, is I just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware. There is some very interesting stuff happening in the audio recording world. If you guys follow like Sasquatch Bioacoustics and Chris Spencer, he's got his, I can't remember, he works with the Olympic Project, but he's getting some really good stuff, and I'm kind of fascinated by that. If you guys want later, I'll let you listen to some of the stuff. I've got one audio file that came from Bumping Lake that I want you guys to listen to because it'll blow your mind.
Seems like we have more success with audio versus.
Audio is your
cameras.
#1 tool.
Yep, seems like it.
And audio is the #1 tool that you guys can use to determine whether Sasquatch is in an area or not. You can go out there, you can drop an audio recorder off, leave it for 4 days,
Good idea.
come back and pick it up, and you don't have to walk around.
Eliminate your.
Mhm.
So, would you suggest, well, I guess when you say baiting, you'll end up bringing raccoons in.
Well, yeah, you're opening the,
Yeah.
you know, here's the thing,
Coyotes,
this
whatever.
audio recorder is apparently bait enough.
Seems like it,
Yeah, and it doesn't necessarily attract all these other animals. So, I don't know. And there are other things too that, like, I've been looking at like Faraday bags. I've been experimenting with Faraday bags to put them in there to see if that'll help prevent battery drainage. But I'm not willing.
You wonder sometimes, is it the grounding, the moisture
Well,
of the grounding? But it
I don't
shouldn't-
know, but
It shouldn't have nothing,
that's why I insulated my boxes.
yeah, that's true.
I mean, maybe it's cold, maybe it's,
Yeah,
Maybe.
cold will do it.
yeah, I'm making sure that there's no other reason why. This thing isn't even grounded or touching anything, you know.
So
Yeah.
No fear, heart steady true. Out here in the woods, part of the crew. every twig that cracks. We're high.